is going on, everybody? It is Sean the Saiyan here. Today I'm bringing you my top 10 favorite cards from OP-05 Awakening of the New Era. Now, just to be clear, I'm not including leader cards. It's mostly cards to support those decks and support those leaders. I think this set has been really fun. I know it's been very expensive, but it's also been a ton of fun with a lot of new cards and a lot of new art that's been just great for the community. Before I start this list, if you guys are new here, please like and subscribe. I have plenty of more One Piece content on the way. And if you're new to the game, I have plenty more videos coming up for beginners to help them out. Without further ado, let's get into the list. I probably should have mentioned at the beginning of this video, this list isn't in any particular order, but at number 10 we have the Eustace Captain Kid blocker. This card is just absolutely insane. It is your turn once per turn. When a Dawn card on your field is returned to your Dawn deck, add up to one Dawn card from your Dawn deck and set it as active. This card is ideal for purple Luffy. You definitely need to run 4 of these. But this card combos really well with the 7-cost Kid. It also combos well with the 9-cost Kaido. It combos pretty much with anything that takes away Dawn 1. So if you play Queen, you pretty much don't lose any Dawn. It's just ideal ramp, and it is a 6k blocker, so it's just value. So you definitely want to run this, but it's just such a good card, and it deserves to be on this list. And then at number 9, we have Houndblaze. Now, Houndblaze is a 2-cost blue event that gives your leader or character plus 3,000 power during this turn and lets you bottom deck a 2-cost or less character. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if this card gets restricted in the future. You're getting an insane amount of value for just 2 Dawn. It being a Navy card is searchable through brand new. And of course, comboing this with Great Eruption and Sakazuki's effect, you can really clear the board with this. You can also pump up like your brand new or some lower cost character, get an extra swing in. This card is absolutely ideal for Sakazuki players, and there's no reason why you shouldn't be running 4 of them. Then at 8, we have 200 million volts. Similar to Houndblaze, it is a 2-cost event, but a yellow event, but also an insane amount of value for just 2 Dawn. Main up to one of your leaders or characters gains plus 3,000 power during this turn. Then if you have 1 or less life cards, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less. This card is really good late game. Again, if you have 1 or less life cards, so you could potentially rest a blocker and swing out for game. Especially if you're playing Anel, you can just stall out the game and then get that life back. But this card also has a trigger when you may trash 2 cards from your hand, add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards. The trigger may not be as handy as the actual main effect itself, but it can help out a ton defensively, not just in Anel, but also in Katakuri. But regardless, you're paying 2 Dawn instead of putting 3 Dawn on your leader and or character. That itself alone makes this card worth running. And then next up we have the Birdman himself, Rob Lucci. Now he is a 4-drop 6k that has a on-play effect is you may place 3 cards from your trash at the bottom of your deck in any order, K up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less, and up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 1 or less. So yeah, it's pretty powerful. Kind of like how we talked about with Houndblaze, there is just so many combinations you can do with this, with Great Eruption, Ice Age, Sakazuki's effect, and I mean Houndblaze. Not only are you clearing the board, but you're also establishing a body for next turn. And it honestly surprised me that this card is a 4-cost 6k, because it could easily be a 4-cost 5k and it still would probably be run in most Sakazuki decks. This card you have to add in your Sakazuki deck. Plus, look at the alt art. It's so beautiful. Then at number 6, we have Kisu, which is a 5k red 4-cost character. It has a on-play of if your leader has the Revolutionary Army type, give up to one of your opponent's leaders or characters cards minus 1,000 power during this turn. It also has a when attacking, if this character has 7,000 power or more, give up to one of your opponent's leaders or character cards minus 1,000 power during this turn. So this character is really for the Bello Betty and Sabo players. Now, if you run cards like Koala or Otama and then have Fire Fist, you can do all of these effects together and be able to KO possibly 2 bodies off the board. I think overall Sabo is a really underrated deck and can be super strong, and I think the Revolutionary Army package as a whole is pretty sweet. And then next up, we have the 7-cost Borsalino. Similar to the 9-drop Mihawk, this one is a little less beefy. It has a on-play of place up to 1 character with a cost 4 or less at the bottom of its owner's deck. So just more removal for Sakazuki. Basically, any character card that lets you remove the opponent's board and establishes a body on the board is just good. And 8k is nothing to shy away from. I know a lot of people debate on running 4 or 3. I think you're good either way depending on your build. I think running 3 is my preferred choice. And again, similar to the Lucci, just being able to combo with cost reduction is just key for this deck. It just pops off like super fast. And then at number 4, we have the 7-cost Rush Anel. Now, this character has a once per turn. If this character were to leave the field, you may trash 1 card from the top card of your live cards instead, unless there is a Monkey D. Luffy character, the effect is negated. So that sets up some pretty annoying scenarios. And with cards like the 8-cost Katakuri and the 9-cost Yamato easily being able to gain your life back, with also the 200 million volts event trigger being able to trash 2 and also gain 1 more life. So besides countering, there's a lot of ways for you to protect this certain character without really having to drain your life at all, with yellow being yellow. The card is super fun to play, but super annoying to play against, and it's super annoying to get off board, and that's why it's on this list. At number 3, we have Trafalgar Law, the 3-cost 5k purple. Again, my own bias, I love this character. The art definitely wins me over, but its effect is pretty cool too. So when attacking, if your opponent has more Dawn cards on their field than you, look at the top 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 Heart Pirates type card, add it to your hand, then place the rest at the bottom. So it's basically a searcher, but only when attacking, not on play. So this card complements Red Purple Law very well, with Red Purple Law constantly losing Dawn to play characters and do its effects, so it goes perfect with it. And the when attacking is nice, so that way you don't have to bounce it constantly back and forth between your hand, compared to on-play searchers. The only real downside to this card, and I don't even know if this is really a downside, is that you can pretty much only use it in Red Purple Law. But it's still a sweet card, and I think it deserves to be on this list. Then at number 2, we have Rebecca, which is a 4-cost 0-power blocker, and it has an on-play of add up to 1 black character card with a cost of 3 to 7 other than this card from your trash to your hand, then play up to 1 black character card with a cost of 3 or less from your hand rested. So its on-play easily makes up for it being a 0-power blocker. And being able to cycle cards such as Great Eruption, Ice Age, Brand New, and bring it back to your hand is super useful. And being able to play rested characters such as Hina for her on-play is also super powerful. Only downside of this card, it is a Dressrosa and not a Navy type, so it is not searchable through Brand New. You should definitely run 4 of these in your Sakazuki deck. Then at number 1, we have the man himself, Monkey D. Luffy, the 10-cost 12k Gear 5 card. And it has an on-play of Dawn -10. Place all of your characters except this character at the bottom of your deck in any order, then take an extra turn after this one. And it has an activate main once per turn. You can pay 1 Dawn, add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck, and set it as active. You see this played the most frequently in Red Purple Luffy. This card is very high risk, high reward. If you can pull it off though, it is super satisfying. But again, with Red Purple Luffy being a 6k leader just from the start, you can easily put all of the Dawn that you have left on the leader and then close out the game with this card. I will be excited to see if this card floats around with anything newer in maybe OP-06 or OP-07, but for now, it's still a really cool card. But anyway, guys, that is just my top 10 personal favorites from this set. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite cards are, what you think of this set. And of course, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. It always helps. I have plenty more One Piece content coming on the way. But until then, I will see you guys later. Peace.